What is going on, everybody? In today's video I am going to be talking about the mangaka Shuzo Oshimi, or Oshimi Shuzu. I don't know how you pronounce his name exactly, but pretty much the author of Flowers of Evil, Blood on the Tracks, um, and some of his other notable works include Happiness, Inside Mari, um, Drifting at Cafe, Welcome Back Alice, and I think there's a couple other ones. But today I want to talk about him specifically because um, recently I've been wanting to get right back into reading manga, specifically for me personally, Inyo Asano's works, which I've read Solanine, I've read uh, what is the other stuff? I read Downfall, I've read I feel like there's another one too. Oh, I've watched uh, Dead Man DDD Destruction. Um, and I feel like there's another one, but either way, most people know him from Goodnight Pun Pun. I haven't read that yet, and honestly, I might low key. Um, I've just kind of been waiting because like I feel like it's taken me some time to be able to like kind of dip my toes into his stuff. But this video is not gonna be on Inyo Asano. This video specifically is on Oshimi. Now Oshimi, if you don't know what his work is like, it's very psychological, a very horror-esque thriller kind of almost vibes to it. Um, but it's got a lot of also realism to it. If you like really real stories, more seinen type, like I'm talking like think berserk themes almost, not berserk themes, but like it's more real, pretty much what I'm trying to say. It's not like an isekai, or it's not like just your typical shonen. Oshimi might be for you. Now, if you don't know, Oshimi came out with Flowers of Evil, which was pretty much his breakthrough. It's pretty much his magnum opus, and I do have a volume over there in my bookshelf, but I'm not gonna go get that right now. But pretty much it's about Kasuga, I think his name is, um, and his pretty much, I guess you could say, struggles with kind of just being, I guess, like weird. Uh, but I feel like this is a common theme with a lot of his stuff. You'll see it in a lot of his work. Theme. There's a very like common pattern. I feel like with him, uh, you begin to notice a lot of themes revolving coming of age. A lot of themes about, I guess you could say, sexuality and his own. I think he's kind of like always touching upon like his own struggles kind of with it during his adolescence, and finding, I guess, his way, feeling like puberty was sort of a weird stage, and that it's like when does adolescence actually end and stuff. And so you know if you like themes about just finding identity, themes about identity, kind of themes about who are you as a person, what makes you you, sort of breaking free from maybe chains of the past, then Oshimi will probably be right up your alley, in my opinion. um so yeah, personally though, what is my favorite work from him? Now, I don't want to sound like I'm like a cliche boy, but I have to give it to Flowers of Evil. Flowers of Evil for me, it's just the best of his work. I mean, Blood on the Tracks is really up there too, and Blood on the Tracks was actually what got me into his stuff. But it's just, I don't know what it is with Flowers of Evil, man. I think it's just the fact that like I read it kind of, I think, in one go. At least the final bit, I read it in like one night. I stayed up till like 6 in the morning reading it. Um, it took me a few days, I think, but like the last half, the last little bit, I finished it. I remember early in the morning. Uh, just could not stop turning the page, bro. I had to keep seeing what was going on, and especially also because it's very much based on like literature. There's a lot of like themes about writing, and Flowers of Evil, if you don't know, is an actual collection of poems forget who the author is of that, but I mean it is from a specific poet. Um, and so there's like loose. It's kind of like Bungo Stray Dogs. Like if you're into literature and stuff, you're not you're gonna kind of understand the literary references they do, and just I don't know. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna explain myself too much with it, but if you know, you know. And if you have the same feeling, then you probably also really liked it for that too. Um, but yeah, so Flowers of Evil for me, man, it was good. It was really good, and I just really enjoyed the absurdity of it too. Like the comedy in it is very absurd. Like it's a very absurd, almost surreal like, but it's also real like. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real, but it's also absurd, so that it's almost comical. And if you have that sense of humor, then I think you'll like Flowers of Evil a lot as well. So yeah. What about Blood on the Tracks though? Blood on the Tracks is my brother's favorite, and I would say Blood on the Tracks is really good too. Like it's actually really really good, and it's one of those mangas where when you read it, you almost it's about obviously Sayu, I think, and Saiki, right? His mother. I think his mother's called Sayu, and I think the son is called Saiki, and his dad's called Saichi, and it's just a messed up family pretty much, and just he goes through a lot of like abuse, honestly, a lot of emotional abuse, and even I think physical abuse is in there too. So there's a lot of themes that if you are sensitive to things like that, and it maybe triggers you, then you probably should be careful reading it. But I think you can still read it. I mean, just you kind of, it is a darker story. It's a little bit more like depressing, I guess you could say. But it does handle a lot of those type of topics. And so if you like very like, I guess dark kind of horror esque, like yeah, like horror esque psychological thrillers, then Blood on the Tracks will probably be more up your alley. Flowers of Evil isn't as dark. I would say it's actually quite bright, especially towards the end. Um, but yeah, and then his other stuff like Inside Mari, he kind of dives into like gender and sort of like sexuality and gender problems and sort of like what I'm saying? Like if you're into sort of like social problems and problems of like, trans like you're into that like, sort of learning about like just like sociology stuff, then I think you'll appreciate Inside Mari. There is a lot of weird stuff that he throws in there too, honestly, if I'm being honest. And you know what I'm saying? It is kind of strange, but you know what I'm saying? I think if you still are into like sociology and you like learning about just like social problems, then I think reading stuff like Inside Mari, and stuff like that, or like Welcome Back Alice, they can kind of like it'll be interesting. And I mean, there's other things in there too, but you know what I'm saying. It's a very much like coming of age sort of drama type of stories. And so yeah, man, that's kind of my little analysis, I guess, of his stuff. Again, great stuff. Honestly, like very, very, very interesting. I guess stuff you could say. You feel me? Flowers of Evil is still the best. Blood Track second. After that, honestly, I would probably say number three would probably be like Welcome Back, Alice. Maybe Inside Mari. I don't know. And then after that, honestly, his other stuff they were pretty good. I read them because obviously Ushimi's Ushimi, and I had to kind of go through all of his stuff. But I wouldn't really say that they were the craziest. People say Happiness is really good. I can't say that, man. Honestly, I read Happiness and I was kind of let down, honestly. It felt like, honestly, just like a bootleg version of Call of the Night and Tokyo Ghoul. Like, it didn't really have, like, anything crazy to it. It was like he was trying to have his little spin of the dark fantasy vibes, but it wasn't really a good one, honestly. So, but maybe you feel differently. I know a lot of the people in the community feel differently. They think it's one of the best. But, that's just my opinion. And so yeah. So again, if you are looking for a very I guess coming of age but has a psychological kind of more um realism kind of twist to things, to like a slice of life type of story, then I think you'll like Shuzu's stuff because it is very much identity based and very like psychological, psyche based, exploring who you are, what you are, why you are, and all these type of things. So again, Shuzo Ushimi, search him up if you want to read his stuff. I'd say start with Flowers of Evil, or Blood on the Tracks. Those two hitters will kind of get you a little bit, I guess, into what he's about. Maybe read a little bit of a synopsis. Watch other people's content on YouTube to see what they gotta say, because again, not everyone's gonna really like mess with his stuff, but again, very much interesting kind of guy, interesting topics, interesting books, and so yeah, man, that is my little review. I will not bore you anymore. That is it. Christopher signing out.